Minister made his time with Professor Nyang' Nyong'o and many people who also became senators. But today, the custodian of devolution is Senate. That is the institution created by the Constitution. And just to conclude, no community, devolution was to make sure every Kenyan, regardless of his community, religion, and his location, are equal before the Constitution and before God. And that is why we want to say, if you want to aspire to be a leader in the Republic of Kenya, you must have certain credentials. You must be ready to speak for the El Molos on the shores of Lake Turkana. You must speak for all religions, and you must speak for all communities. And you must speak for Kenya. You can speak for your community, you can speak for your religion, and you can speak for your region. Kenya is one indivisible nation with one flag, one map, a member of the East African community. And in conclusion, on behalf of the Ministry of Health, I reaffirm our belief together we can ensure devolution truly delivers for the people, for posterity, and for justice. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the Republic of Kenya.
Another round of applause for Waziri. It's now my honor to invite our gracious host, the Governor for Homa Bay, Her Excellency Gladys Wanga, to make her remarks, and in turn invite the Chair of COG. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, Governor Sang. Our chief guest today, the Right Honorable the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, the Chair of the Council of Governors, His Excellency FCPA Ahmed Abdullahi, fellow governors who are present today, the Cabinet Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Minority Leader of the Senate, and members of Parliament present, members of the National Assembly are present here today, deputy governors, led by my own deputy governor, who I want to recognize, Yugi Magwanga. Thank you very much. Members of county assemblies and their speakers, led by our speaker there, Polika Pokombo, and the majority leader, Richard Ogindo. Thank you very much. County Executive Committee members, led by the County Executive Committee members of Homa Bay. If you're anywhere, please rise for recognition. Thank you very much, Dr. Agili and Engineer Munga. Members of constitutional commissions and independent officers, development partners, private sector and academia. The first gentleman of Homa Bay, Mr. Wanga, please just rise for recognition. Thank you very much for bringing me from the Kano side here to Homa Bay. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Right Honorable Prime Minister, Your Excellency, with your permission, I would like to introduce the local leaders who are present here today, because we are hosting this not just as a county government, but together with our national leaders and members of the county assembly, and as a region as well. So the local leaders present, please rise for recognition. Our local MPs. I'd like to start with Honorable Millie Mabona, Whip of the National Assembly, Minority Whip, who I think has stepped out, and Honorable Dr. Lilian Gogo, who has also stepped out. Honorable Dr. Ivo Bara, please just wave, Member of Parliament for Kabondo Kasipul. Honorable Martin Owino, Ward Chief, Member of Parliament for Ndiwa, Honorable Dr. Joyce Osogo Bensuda, County MP for Homa Bay, Honorable Adipo Andrew Okwome, Member of Parliament for Karachuonyo. We have also the Speaker of the County Assembly of Nairobi, who is also a son of the soil here in Homa Bay. Thank you for rising. Honorable Peter Pondokaluma, our host, Member of Parliament for Homa Bay Town Constituency. Our Honorable Senator for Homa Bay County, Senator Moses Kajwang, who's also Chair of the Public Accounts Committee of the Senate. Members of County Assembly of Homa Bay, if you're here, please rise for recognition. Thank you very much. Those are the honorable members of the County Assembly of Homa Bay. It is my great honor to welcome you to this second day of the Devolution Conference 2025. I see most of you are in high spirits, a sign that Homa Bay has warmly embraced you. The pleasant weather, the vibrant ambience, hospitable people, the rich culture, and the delicious cuisine have always been kind to our guests, and I'm confident that you have seen, as our Senator said yesterday, that something good can come from Homa Bay. The theme of the day is human rights and social justice. I am especially proud to welcome to DevCon 2025 in Homa Bay my party leader, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Baba, who has a long track record of fighting for human rights and social justice. He's the father of Katiba 2010 and the father of devolution. His steadfast support and championship of devolution, sometimes even remaining alone in that fight, instills immense confidence in us. It feels as though we are in safe hands, ready to share first-hand accounts of our progress and challenges in his presence. With Baba, we share in the belief that counties should be given more funding. Simply put, funds must follow devolved functions. Upon devolving the functions of health, agriculture, roads, and water, we ought to have seen serious restructuring in line ministries to release funds to devolved units. The sub-theme for Devolution Conference 2025, Reengineering County Governments to Accelerate Development and Close the Socioeconomic Divide, demands a bold examination of devolution successes and setbacks after 13 years. Many inspiring stories of devolution's impact have been shared across the 47 counties. I want to share on our Homa Bay's achievements on county functions and impactful devolution stories with our successful programs. Let me start with a story I love to repeat in Homa Bay, that we are the bay of endless potential, but with limited resources. The vision is an elephant, Kaliech, with resources like a rabbit, Apuoyo. In education, in the last 10 years since devolution, from 2013 to 2022, we had constructed 23 classrooms. In the last 2.5 years, we have been able to build 243 early years classrooms under the Ondoa Kaunda initiative, ensuring that our young children learn in dignified facilities. The hallmark of this initiative is a labor-based approach, giving each of our eye centers 1 million shillings for construction by the local community. Our Fins to Swim scholarship supports 623 bright but needy students, about 40% of whom are girls, through secondary school up to university. The Fundimangula program has enrolled 600 youth who have graduated and another 600. Now we are having 1,200 students going through a vocational training scholarship program. We partner with KCB in this program under the KCB to Jiajiri. Some of our Fundimangula beneficiaries have been involved in development of projects like the Ondoa Kaunda and the Affordable Housing Project. Our bursary program supports over 20,000 beneficiaries every year, 800 from each of the 40 wards identified through the village cluster public participation framework. In the 3 years of my administration since 2022, we have a cumulative number of 81,860 beneficiaries. In healthcare, we have used our on-source revenue that we grew to a high of 1.729 billion in the financial year 2024-25 using the cashless, fully automated system to fund critical services. At the Level 5 Homa Bay County Teaching and Referral Hospital, we are constructing a 5-story accident and emergency block, which will be complete by December, and a funeral parlor, which is already complete, to give our people a dignified send-off. Our referral hospital features a new outpatient block, an upgraded maternity wing, and other improvements using the resources that we've been able to raise. The Health Facility Improvement Fund has upgraded 70 facilities in various parts of the county, including Rachuanyo East, Sena in Fangano Island, Your Excellency, which you came and opened with us in Soklo up there, Pala, the Tomboya Health Facility in Bita, and among others. On wellness and climate change interventions, we have set up green spaces, including the Governor's Park and the Arboretum, which you have just visited this afternoon, and the sports programs, including the Genoa Governor's Cup every year, and partnership with the Akakoro Football Academy, who are setting up a modern academy in Diwa. On trade and markets, for our community empowerment through the Inua Boda Boda initiative, each of our 40 Boda Boda circles across the 40 wards received 1 million shillings on grant to be able to empower them, to be able to get them to get their own motorbikes instead of riding on behalf of others. In efforts to bolster commerce and give dignity to our traders, modern markets are currently under construction in Rodikopany and Kendube, Misambi, as well as Sindo, Luanda, and Diwa. Projects that are delivering transformative economic spaces. On county roads, we continue to invest in accessibility and mobility, opening up 518 kilometers of new roads, rehabilitating 319 kilometers, maintaining 551 kilometers, and reconstructing and maintaining over 6,000 culverts, which offer critical lifelines that connect our markets, sports grounds, and communities, ensuring cohesion and opportunity across every ward. In agriculture, we have transformed Homa Bay into an agricultural producer county. We have harnessed our agricultural potential with projects and investments, and the results are promising. We lead in national production of several value chains. We are #1 producers of sweet potatoes, #2 producers of cotton, only #2 to Lamu, #1 producers of groundnuts, #1 producers of sunflower, #1 producers of soya beans, #3 producers of millet, and #17 producer of coffee in the country. We are now growing coffee in Homa Bay. Mbesha is coming to our farmers for them to uplift their livelihoods. My passion in agricultural productivity, the intersection of food security, agro-processing, trade, job creation, and enhanced farmers' incomes, leading to tremendous economic growth to deliver Homa Bay City in a decade. Full devolution with attendant funding will give good national economic outcomes in the 47 counties. In the next national planning cycle, like Vision 2030, devolution should be a key pillar. We commend the current administration for allocating 415 billion to counties, although, Your Excellency, you had said we should get to at least 450 billion. And the council had said at least 530 billion. So we are at 415 and we appreciate, but we hope that we can get to even higher amounts. Your Excellency, to promote inclusion, 2 days ahead of the devolution conference, we ran a hackathon competition, which brought young people from all 47 counties, and they were called ethical hackers. They were coding, and the title of that was Hacking 48 Governments in 48 Hours. We saw impressive solutions on effective public participation, health diagnostics, and managing road accidents through monitoring speed. In technology, we will involve the youth and get their innovation on board. As I conclude, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, allow me to once again really thank my colleague governors, led by the Chair of the Council of Governors, for accepting that Homa Bay would be the host of this year's devolution conference. It looked like a pipe dream when we began to discuss it with Senator Kajwang when we were just elected. But we are very, very glad that colleague governors accepted that this small county, sometimes considered on the very far end of the world, be able to host this conference. I'd like to thank the chair of the steering committee, Governor Mutahi Kahiga, who has made several trips to Homa Bay in the process of planning. I'd like to thank the COG Secretariat team, led by the CEO, Madam Mary Mwiti, and the entire Secretariat. They have made trips here. They have spent sleepless nights. I know that seeing that this conference has become such a huge success gives you great satisfaction. I'd also like to thank very much my team, the county team that worked together with the COG team to deliver on this conference. Finally, I look forward to hosting you tonight to a sumptuous dinner at the Governor's Park. Tafadhali, this evening, there's dinner and ohangla at the Governor's Park. Please do not miss to attend the dinner this evening. Erokamana hinya, God bless you, and welcome once again to Homa Bay County. Let me take this opportunity to welcome to the stage the indomitable chair of the Council of Governors, the Governor of Wajir County, the land of camels, Governor FCPA Ahmed Abdullahi. Tafadhali tumpigie makofi our chairman as he comes to deliver his address.
Very good. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Governor Gladys Wanga. Our chief guest for the day, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, Prime Minister, Excellency Governors and Deputy Governors who are here, the Cabinet Secretary for Health, the Honorable Aden Duale, Senators, Honorable Members of the National Assembly, representatives of the Judiciary, leaders of Homa Bay County and the Greater Nyanza region, Excellency Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Principal Secretaries, Speakers and members of the county assemblies, all national and county government representatives, private sector, civil society representatives, development partners, international delegates, all delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Hamjambo. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, let me take a few minutes, first of all, to introduce the governors who are here, who will not have an opportunity to come and say something at the podium. All Excellency Governors, please. We have the host, Governor Gladys Wanga. We have my Vice Chair, I think, who is outside. We're expecting the Prime Cabinet Secretary to be here any time. He's probably waiting to receive him. He's gone out with Gladys. And then we have our whip of the Council of Governors. Your Excellency, the Council of Governors has 3 executive committee members who run the affairs of the Secretariat together with the Secretariat. And it's the chair, the vice chair, and the whip is Governor Stephen Sang of Nandi. We have Governor Muthomi Njuki, who is our chair of the Health Committee of the Council of Governors. We have Governor Cecily Mbarire, Governor of Embu County. She chairs resource mobilization for us. We have our Chair of Agriculture, Speaker Emeritus, who is the Governor of Bungoma, Kenneth Lusaka, Excellency Kenneth Lusaka. We also have Governor of Siaya County, James Orengo, Excellency James Orengo. We have the Governor of Kisumu County, who chairs for us the Committee on Lands, Housing, Urban Development, Excellency Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. And Your Excellency, there are many deputy governors also in attendance. But okay, we have other governors there. Governor Irungu Kangata of Muranga, Governor Simon Kachapin of West Pokot, Governor Dr. Wilbur Otichilo of Vihiga County, and Governor Professor Hilary Barchok of Bomet County. Thank you very much. Excellency, Right Honorable, there were other governors here, but some of them had to attend to other matters. The others? Your Excellency, I was only looking at this side. On that other side, we have Governor Julius Malombe, Governor of Kitui County. He's a returnee governor like me. There are 8 of us who served in the first cohort and were out and were re-elected. Your Excellency, I had a written speech here, but because we're all saying the same thing, I decided today I'll not read it. I'll just talk off the cuff, because the speech that people are waiting for is your speech. But I'll just say a few things, and I hope by the time I finish, the Right Honorable Raila, the Prime Cabinet Secretary will be here so that he can speak before you. You are our chief guest for today. So we're also trying to avoid any protocol hitches. Your Excellency, may I take this opportunity to welcome you officially to DEFCON 2025. I want to say that in Kenya, there are different sets of truths. It appears that everyone makes their own set of truths. But there are 3 sets of truths that we all seem to agree on here. And you've heard that from the speakers who were here before me as well. Truth number 1 is that devolution has worked for Kenya. It has delivered. It has done its bit to equalize this country. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, we are not all students of history. No one in this room understands probably better than you. No one understands better than you in this room. Maybe the only other person who I would say has a lot of institutional memory and knowledge on our political history here is Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. No one understands better than you the history of Kenya, the first administration that we had, the system of Majimbo, how the Senate was killed, how they were made to serve the remaining bit of their term in the National Assembly then, and how a seat was created for each senator in their rural district, and with it ended devolution. With it ended Majimbo. Your Excellency, no one understands better than you the struggle for the second liberation, the various drafts that we had, the Yash Balgai team, the Bomas draft, and what then became the final consensus position of forming 47 governments based on the 1992 district boundaries. Devolution was your fight. It remains your fight, Your Excellency. I'll just speak to a few of the issues that we keep raising. Your Excellency, as Chair of Council, who is serving his second term, I have appreciated that, yes, devolution has been accepted. Yes, it has been given some resources. Yes, it's doing a lot of good work. But the centralist mindset in the national bureaucracy still regards devolution as a spoiler of things. It's still the scapegoat. It attracts more flack, more blame than resources. We still quarrel about the quantum of resources. And Gladys had mentioned that this year, as part of the MOU that you had with His Excellency the President, you had yourself suggested 450. We probably got the highest increase in a long time at about 30 billion, but we're still at 415. We're still struggling with issues to do with timely releases and timely disbursements. And what this does, Your Excellency, is that we end up in a situation where a nurse at Kenyatta National Hospital receives her salary at the end of the month, but in some counties, they have to wait for 3 months because not all counties have arrangements with commercial banks. We still contend with the question of respecting the functional integrity of the county governments, the question of clawbacks of functions that have been devolved, and the question of resources following functions. There's still a lot of duplication. There are things that ought to be done by the counties, which are still being financed through national government ministries, departments, and agencies. Your Excellency, counties have to still contend, and this is a matter that needs to be looked into, with a duplicity of oversight. Our understanding as governors was that the first level of oversight for the county governments was the county assemblies, and that governors will then be called to the Senate not as the first level of oversight, but to clarify certain things, probably audit reports, annual audit reports. And in fact, having served in the first cohort of governors, we only used to get invitations from the Peak Park Committee then. But now it's become customary that governors have to be called by departmental committees of the Senate. Your Excellency, whilst to date, not a single MCA, not a single member of parliament has had to be recalled. We have had at least 4 governors impeached, and I think there have been as many as 7 or 8 attempts. I had it on my phone. I can't remember offhand. How many? Mary? 8 attempted impeachments, many of whom were salvaged at Senate. The question then begs, Your Excellency, is it only governors? Are Kenyans only electing the wrong governors? Is it only governors that are so bad that they have to be impeached and can't finish their term? Of course, we have one instance of a deputy president that has been impeached. And up to date, I don't think we have a clear impeachment law for governors that sets the threshold. We're still relying on the constitutional provisions and the question of the County Governments Act. Your Excellency, the weaponization of the fight against corruption is another matter that we have to address openly. If you look at the annual budget, it's 10 to 13% of the annual budget that gets devolved, which means 87 to 90% of the budget is still sitting at the center. But this week, Your Excellency, the national media had headlines about corruption in counties, trying to take the thunder out of the devolution conference. It's as if the only thing the counties do is corruption. It is not the case. May I also take this opportunity to welcome the Prime Cabinet Secretary. You're most welcome, the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Karibu. I was buying a little bit of time so that you can come in. Thank you. So, Your Excellency, I'll move much faster. So I was talking about corruption. Yesterday, His Excellency, the President, I think, in a very open and clear manner, spoke to the question of what I call non-executive corruption. Corruption in other arms of government. Your Excellency, as a Council of Governors, we feel that the fight against corruption has unfairly targeted governors, and it has been a case of calling devolution a bad name so that along the way there's a reason to kill it. That's not to say there's no corruption in counties. We have admitted as Kenyans that corruption pervades every aspect of our life. All we're saying is, let's fight all corruption. Your Excellency, I'm reminded that a lot of the governors who left office are in dire straits economically. Would actually want to be told how many of the choppers at Wilson belong to governors or former governors. Some of our colleagues who left office cannot afford to buy fuel. Yesterday, we heard how there is an impending law to give pension to MCAs. MPs have pension. Why can't governors have pension? Why do we want to pride as a nation that our governors, some of whom have served 2 terms, don't even have, in fact, had it not been for SHA, probably, medical cover? Your Excellency, my colleague from Garissa usually says being a governor is like working in a landmine. You have to buy your peace at every level. I don't think that is what devolution was meant to be, Your Excellency. And I'm saying these things because coming back to the truths, the second truth is that you are the father of devolution. And I feel comfortable saying these things in your presence because I know you can address them and address all of us effectively on them. And the last truth, Your Excellency, before I call the Prime Cabinet Prime Cabinet Secretary rather, is that you remain the underwriter of political stability in Kenya. Your detractors will say all manner of things. The fact of the matter is that we almost lost this country as a result of the Gen Z protests and demonstrations, which turned into riots. You were magnanimous enough to allow members of your party to join government as ministers so that Kenya can be stable. Your Excellency, without Kenya being stable, a lot of these counties will be no more because the architecture of our financial system here is that we depend largely on equitable share to provide services. So I want to ask you to continue being the father of devolution, the underwriter of devolution, and the stabilizer of the politics of Kenya. I thank you. And with that, Your Excellency, may I invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary to make his remarks before we invite you as our chief guest for today. That's how it has traditionally been. Prime Cabinet Secretary, please.
Homa Bay hoye! Homa Bay hoye! Umwami, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, all governors present, cabinet secretaries present, all our legislators who are present, all MCAs in the hall, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I will try and just make some 2 or 3 points, and then I will hand over my written remarks to the Chair of the Council so that it can go into your library for further conversation at a later stage. So I'll completely reduce my remarks. But I just want to say that I'm happy. There's usually a phrase in English, they say, in the nick of time. I had seen the program and I was supposed to be scheduled to take the podium at about 4. But thanks to technology, because then I was able to realize that Umwami Raila has arrived, and I had to adjust my engagements elsewhere so that I can be here with him. So, and of course, let me give accolades to Governor Gladys Wanga and her team in the county for putting together a very, very colorful and important function for governors and for the country. Your Excellency Raila, we are standing here because devolution, in a way, is the product of different factions of our political landscape coming together. You will recall that after 2007-2008 elections, the Honorable Raila Odinga and the late Mwai Kibaki brought together what we commonly call the Grand Coalition Government. In the Grand Coalition Government, I was assigned the role of being Deputy Prime Minister and also Minister for Local Government. And through the leadership and guidance of the Honorable Raila and the late Mwai Kibaki, I spearheaded the sessional paper on devolved government under the Constitution of 2010, and also to ensure the 6 primary pieces of legislation to anchor the process of devolution and to have them ready on time for the general elections was a difficult task. The Prime Minister was very clear then that we must deliver on ensuring that we get to the next general election with devolution properly anchored and ready to go. So we did that, and in that Parliament, the sessional paper was approved, and attached to the sessional paper were 6 pieces of legislation, which today formed the basis and the foundation for the devolved system of government. So I want to confirm what the chair of the governors was just saying a few minutes ago, that it is not fiction, it is a fact that Raila was at the center of ensuring that devolution takes root. Now, let me come to another very quick point. Maybe it has been said by previous speakers, but I normally wear my other hat once in a while to look at numbers. And in the past 11 years, we are now in the 12th, in terms of the consolidated figure of equitable share in revenue, county governments have received 3.6 trillion Kenya shillings, consolidated in the last 12 years. I will not go into the debate as to how you have utilized those resources. I think the best judges are the residents of your counties, and of course, the Auditor General, who from time to time is charged with the responsibility of scrutinizing how public resources have been utilized. Let me also highlight that through the media and previous contributors, there's been a lot of conversation around efficiency, proper utilization of resources, management of the payroll, systems across the 47 countries, the effect of mismanagement to taxpayers. So I will not want to speak too much to that. But let me just highlight that we also have a record that there are about 688 delayed projects across 34 counties, valued at about 24 billion Kenya shillings. And in 33, there are also about 40 unutilized projects in 10 counties amounting to about 400 million Kenya shillings. These are issues that we need to look at. And abandoned projects, abandoned or maybe neglected. In 33 counties, we get a figure of about 20 billion worth of abandoned projects. That, again, becomes a matter of grave concern and critical action from our leaders across the board. Your Excellency, let me just pick up one more issue. Well, two more issues, really. One is that good policies are anchored on accurate and hygienic data, whether it is at the national level, at the county level, or even at sectoral level. I would want to urge that all county governments, if they can work systematically to strengthen their county statistical departments and capacity so that accurate and hygienic data can be generated so that we can have a strong basis, data-driven insights into the challenges that face all our counties. Let me also flag something that we need to address, and I mean no ill will, but I'll give a very specific example. And I speak to this because it touches on the portfolio of foreign affairs directly. Sometimes how we manage investments and foreign investments in our counties is absolutely critical. Let me give you the example of a regrettable case in Meru County involving Leopard Rock Lodge. This was a luxury ecotourism facility which was built by a French investor at a cost of 500 million shillings. In 2019, the previous county administration, I'm not talking of the current one, I'm saying the previous one. That's why I said I mean no ill will. The previous county administration officials allegedly orchestrated forceful eviction of the investor, leading to the destruction of the lodge's infrastructure within Meru National Park. The investor, a French national, had legally leased the land and invested in this facility. But because of local politics, the damage was caused. This gentleman went to court. The courts ruled in favor of the investor, awarding compensation for breach of contract and unlawful eviction. The matter escalated internationally when the French embassy raised concerns with our national government, highlighting the damage to bilateral relations and investor confidence. Ultimately, in May 2025, the national government intervened at a cost of hundreds of millions of shillings, shifting the burden to taxpayers and underscoring how local missteps can impose national costs. So I thought this forum would be important for me to make a passionate appeal to Kenyans in all our 47 counties and leaders in all our 47 counties that competition for foreign direct investment is absolutely essential for growth, for employment, for revenue. And if we do not respect the rule of law in those counties, we cause a lot of damage and the consequences can be very grave. So I wish to encourage that we take corrective action and ensure that investments in our respective counties are properly safeguarded. Finally, let me just talk to the issue that still remains a crisis across the board. And this is garbage collection, solid waste management. 12 years into devolution, we still grapple with huge heaps of waste, blight in our urban and rural landscapes alike, posing severe threats to public health, the environment, and indeed our national dignity. Let us look at this area carefully. Garbage is big business. It's big business. You all know it, your experts have told you about it. The question is, who is benefiting from this big business? Are we all losing? That, again, I pose as a rhetorical question to the leadership as we review our 12 years of devolution. Perhaps I may want to provoke the leadership of the Council of Governors. Perhaps, if it is not already there, perhaps we can introduce a rewarding innovation and sanctioning mechanism for counties that prove themselves in terms of waste management. Perhaps you can create awards where the resource allocation is increased if a county can properly demonstrate that they are able to deal with the solid waste challenge effectively, and those that may not be able to do so perhaps can be sanctioned so that they can also pull up their socks and not pull the other counties down. It might be, especially in this era of climate-related issues which are in vogue and which are important, maybe we should start looking for the green county of the year, the one that really steps out and is able to demonstrate that they are managing this particular challenge and in the process benefit from an elevated allocation during the revenue sharing mechanism. I'm speaking when I know there are legislators here, so perhaps they can refine this better as they reflect on some of these things. So I think I end there, but most important, devolution is and remains the most critical innovation within Kenya's constitutional framework. And whatever the challenges we face, I think it's important to acknowledge that the governors and their teams have made a difference in our society, and we challenge them to continue making that difference and making it even better as we go into the future. Thank you for listening to me. And now, I've been asked by the chair of the Council of Governors to request everybody to be upstanding so that we can usher in Umwami Raila Odinga so that he can come and give the final address. Kama kuna wimbo weka juu.
Thank you. Asante. Thank you very much. You may be seated. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, Mwana Anna, my friend, the Chairman of the Council of Governors, our host today, the Governor of the great country of Homa Bay, all governors who are here, all honorable members of Parliament, distinguished guests, now wana Homa Bay, hamjambo, hamjambo, osaure. Asante sana. I usually call my brother there Mwana wa Anna, and he has done a good job of introducing me here to this audience. I came earlier. I did not know that I was scheduled to talk at 5 o'clock. But I said, now that I'm here, because I'm here, I need to be given a chance to greet the people. So we are very happy that the county of Homa Bay is hosting this conference this year. Now, we've been here just a few months ago when we had a very electrifying Madaraka Day 2 months ago. And it looks like devolution 2025 is not any different. I was very happy and pleased when I arrived here, and I was taken to a park, just a small park in the Homa Bay, where this county is trying to remember a very great son of this county, the late Honorable Homabay. I was very, very pleased indeed, because Homabay is actually was the architect of the devolution. I myself was very passionate about devolution, but Mbai had understood it much better than anybody else. So when we went to Bomas of Kenya, because I had hired him as my consultant. So when we went to Bomas of Kenya, and the debate started in earnest, and then I asked the chairman to give Mbai a chance to address the audience. When he spoke that day in Bomas of Kenya, and he spoke for nearly 10 minutes without break. And by the time he finished, the whole hall backed into cheers. And they all cheered by and said that that gentleman should be the chairman of the devolution committee. And that is how it became. That Homabay became the chair of the devolution committee. And as the chair of the devolution committee, he navigated very dangerous corners. Because as you know, I've been mentioning several times that devolution had then and even today very powerful enemies. He was able to create proper benchmarks to be met. And because of that, he became a marks person. And as I've said several times, Bai would not see the new constitution. In broad daylight, in front of his children, they moved in to his house and shot him and fatally wounded him. So it is fitting that today we are here actually celebrating this day in Homa Bay, not very far away from Bai's home, right just next door here. And today I really want to make an appeal to the Council of Governors, because Bai left a young family, young wife, and children. And if the Council of Governors can see it fit that you get a kind of a fund, a small fund, you can just put in 5,000 shillings a month, that will go a long way to help the family of the little Homabay. It's an appeal. But then, let's get back to business. And let me begin by declaring a familiar interest. I believe in devolution. I believe in more, not less devolution. I believe in a balance of power between Nairobi and the counties. None should stand in the way of the other. I believe in strong county executives oversighted by equally strong county assemblies. I believe in a Kenya that sees the strength of each of the 47 counties as the strength of Kenya. But let me say, county government are supposed to be oversighted by county assemblies, not the Senate. So therefore, it is unnecessary for Senate to be summoning governors to go to appear before senators in Nairobi. Only the public accounts and the public investment committees should summon not even governors, the chief executives of the county government. It's a waste of time, all the time summoning governors to come to appear before parliamentary committees. Centralism still has strong supporters, but I believe its days are in the past. Centralism comes with some bad habits. It thrives on keeping the whole country waiting for Nairobi to make decisions on very local issues that Nairobi knows little or nothing about. Devolution beats centralism at allowing local people to make decisions on local issues. Decisions affecting only Homa Bay should be taken in Homa Bay or any other country for that matter. Only decisions affecting the whole country should be taken by the national executive in Nairobi. I believe local policymakers bring more insight to local issues, are more likely to be more accountable, transparent, traceable, and named and shamed. But people are now looking for more than proximity. They are looking for performance, productivity, and partnership at every level of leadership. People want counties that are economic powerhouses, not mere administrative units. And you know, where we're here, because of historical circumstances, we had bigger units, you had regions which had what you call economics of scale. But enemies of devolution undermined that arrangement. Our focus must now be on leveraging devolution to achieve increased productivity and delivery of efficient and quality of services. Devolution for the people, for prosperity. People need more integration and coordination, not just between the county and national government, but also between counties. We want to see Wajir, for instance, having more collaboration with Garissa or Machakos with Kajiado, and complement each other instead of competing for destruction. So I want to share some reflections on how devolution can be revolutionized and how county and national governments can adopt and lead the country into an equitable future. A future in which we all accept that each part of the country is unique in its own way, has its own history, challenges, strengths, and ambitions. Only when all parts of Kenya pull together in one desired direction will we achieve prosperity for all. The counties are not equal or similar. Even this region, for example, you take Homa Bay, next door is Kisii, you see? And then the other door is also Migori. The three counties are not equal or similar. In Homa Bay here, they are like monoethnic. They can afford to talk the Luo Upper. Even the Suba speak the Luo. In Kisii, in Kisii they're also monoethnic. But if you go to Migori, they are bilingual. There are Koreans there, and there are the Luos there. So you cannot speak Luo in an assembly in Migori. See, in Kisumu, next door, different from Homa Bay. Though they share the lake, Kisumu has an international airport. Kisumu has a railway line. Homa Bay does not have a railway line, does not have an international airport, and so on and so forth. So counties differ. So, where are we at this stage? Devolution is a process, not an event. It is about finding a balance between national and local aspirations. In this regard, we have made some significant progress. The most important step we have made is to make it the core principle behind devolution widely accepted. The principle of doing locally what is best done locally, and nationally only what is best done at the national level. But devolution must undergo continuous review and reinvention. The world is changing fast. So is Kenya. In 25 years from today, just from today, we will be in a Kenya of over 80 million people. Look at 25 years from today, it's just a turn of the century. And today is 25 years from then. From 25 years from now, we are going to have 80 million people living in this country. The eyes of our people will be on their counties. Our counties will either be engines of innovation or bottlenecks of frustration. The choice is ours, and we must choose boldly. We need to watch against the transfer of power and resources from Nairobi only for the same to be hoarded at county headquarters. We have to continuously ensure local communities access the devolved power and resources and have the power to decide where funding goes and how the services and projects are run. The formulation of county integrated development plans must therefore be more serious and truly consultative, not mere procedures. Those CIPDs, DPs, must also be implemented to the letter with much more regular references to the people. Needless to say, we have to cut the controlling hand of the national government. We must continuously push the national government to stop micromanaging counties. We must constantly fight off the national government's instinct to hold power and resources. But let me be clear. References to national government's bad tendencies is not a call for a war between the two levels of government. In all devolved systems, getting money and power from either level is always a struggle. You have to treat the contest as an integral part of the strengthening of devolution and the reason for the two governments to build good faith. In fact, as that task continues, I want to propose that there be some incentives arrangements between the national government and the counties, through which the national government will reward those counties that deliver the best services in areas like poverty reduction, youth unemployment, and environmental conservation. We need to come up with more transparent and independent performance reporting at the counties that gives the public more access to data that it can use to evaluate the performance of their county against others. That data will enable citizens to know, for instance, where it is easier to start a business, access healthcare, do farming, move goods to markets, etc., enabling our citizens to make informed choices in their socio-economic activities. We need a digital devolution in counties. County services, from business permits to healthcare appointments, must be accessible online, in real time, and in local languages. This should go a long way in fighting the scourge of corruption that is taking very deep roots in counties. Our counties must move from being consumers of transfers to producers of wealth through county-led industrial parks, energy autonomy through solar, wind, and small-scale hydro projects, and smart agriculture hubs, among other areas powered by technology. Our Constitution clearly stipulates that the two levels of government depend on each other, that cooperation should help us to do away with, not enhance, duplication that results in wastage of time, efforts, and money. Even as county and national governments cooperate, there must be more clarity on roles and responsibilities. Some confusion is beginning to creep in, and accountability risks being lost in the process. We must continue demanding that counties be granted full control over all devolved functions. But we must also demand to see what difference the counties are making in increased devolved resources and functions. At the same time, we need to bring more areas into the devolution fold. Our constitution making was characterized by negotiations and give and take. To avoid a war, for example, with NAT, we only devolve early child development aspect of education. Because NAT had threatened us that if we devolve education, they are going to mobilize teachers to oppose the new constitution. And that's why education was not fully devolved. We must now break the cycle of managing our schools from far away in Nairobi. The time has come for Kenya to devolve education up to secondary school. It makes no sense to see a Minister of Education going to Marsabit, to Garissa, inspecting primary school structures or construction. It's a shame, because that is the work that should be done by the governor of the counties there. The time has come to devolve education. In the interest of efficiency and better service delivery, all money is currently managed by the NGCDF and NGAAF should be surrendered to counties. When CDF was formulated and promulgated, the people of Kenya were seeking an equitable distribution of natural resources which had been denied through an imperial presidency. Most of the work here was basically left to Harambes. He wanted to build a tuition build block, Harambee, dispensary, Harambee, and so on. Since that time, everything in the system of governance has changed. We removed the patronage system in allocation of natural resources. We adopted devolution. We established a constitutional commission to allocate revenue between the national and county governments. We empowered the parliament on budgetary matters. Everything Kenyans have done to re-establish good governance has made the CDF system obsolete. It is serving no known role in the new constitutional architecture, and it is no longer relevant in the new constitutional dispensation. Indeed, the only thing this system does is to pervert the role of the representative of the people and to deflect their attention from duties placed upon them by the Constitution. The legislatures are elected to represent the people, to legislate, and to oversight the national government. It is not their business to be distributing bursaries or be constructing classrooms and so on. Those are the work of the county government. Well, the MPs are constructing roads, constructing schools and hospitals. The same goes for infrastructure development. There is no reason for Nairobi-based agencies to continue flying over counties and construct roads in our urban centers and within our counties. I strongly believe that time has come for the authority over urban and rural roads to be handed over to counties, while the national government manages international highways and national trunk roads. I was the Minister for Roads, Public Works and Housing. I'm the one who took the bill to Parliament to create Kera, Kura, and Kenha. But that was under a unitary system of government at that time. With a devolved system of government, there's no need for somebody sitting in Nairobi to be in charge of rural roads in Homa Bay or Kiambu or Lambu, for example. So this is an idea whose time has come. It does not make sense that some roads in Kisumu town cannot be managed by the governor of Kisumu. That somebody sitting in Nairobi called Kura who claimed those roads as his roads. The same thing in Mombasa, Eldoret, Nakuru, and so on. I know the better way to power this economy there's no better way to power this economy than to have major road construction works going on across all the 47 counties at the same time. I am well aware that some of these functions are currently not devolved and may require constitutional amendments to be transferred to counties. But through delegation of functions and legislation, we can get this work done and in the process take more power and resources and prosperity to the people. Finally, I want to address two other issues. One, the governors have mentioned it, that governors serve the counties and they can serve 1 term, 2 terms. I've got a number of governors who have served 2 terms. In Parliament, we did an amendment so that any member of Parliament who serves 2 terms is systematically entitled to a pension. Why can we not do the same thing to the governors? A governor who has served 2 terms needs to be entitled automatically to a pension. So this is a recommendation that should come from Homa Bay. And members of Parliament should seize this matter and go and move an amendment in Parliament. Okay? Second thing is issue of corruption. You see, corruption is not confined to the counties, and I'm happy that the President talked about this. I talked about it the other day. Our society will not develop until we manage this animal, this beast called corruption. And it is in all aspects of our lives. First, you talk about the executive. It is rampant in the executive. Not at the county only, first at the national level. In the procurement and in revenue collection, that's where it resides. Revenue collection, these revenue officers, whether it be the customs officers, they be income tax, they be VAT officers, there's a lot of pilferage in that right. There's a lot of leakages. And then procurement officers. Again, here there's an area where there's a lot of pilferage. You're procuring so expensively. You'll be told now you're building affordable housing. But at what cost? At what cost are you building the affordable housing? Yeah? And all that eventually is burden pushed to the taxpayer. So this is an area where we need to face these enemies of our society squarely, in procurement and in revenue collection. The other area here is, and this is both at the national and at the county level. Then go over to the legislature. Again, it's domiciled in the legislature. A lot of money was being wasted by people who should be working productively, being summoned to appear before parliamentary committees. And you find parliamentary committees sometimes saying they are cancelling this project. They're only doing that because they have been funded by a contractor who lost the contract. When there's a tender, there must be a winner. And once that the tender has been awarded, the contractors who lost will look for the member of parliament or an MCA or the contract has been corruptly awarded, then immediately they now summon the minister or the PS to come, and we want to investigate this. They shout a lot of, make a lot of noise, but basically they are being paid by the losing contractor. And they've been doing this, fund, the contract has been properly awarded, it's suspended, it's cancelled, and you know the financial year is very short. By the time you awarded the contract, it is September. If somebody goes and suspends it, you will be into the new year. The whole financial year is wasted, money is not spent. So Parliament must also be brought in on board properly, because Parliament is also actually impeding implementation of government projects by being corrupted by contractors. And then, you know, come over to judiciary. Judiciary is also not blameless. When some people tell you that I don't, rather than wasting my money in hiring a lawyer, I'd rather bribe a judge, and I will get whatever I want. A criminal, somebody has committed a crime, when he's supposed to be arrested, rushes to court, and when they go to court there, gets an order to stop him from being arrested. So the judiciary is a major impediment also. So the corruption resides also in the judiciary. And you come down to the private sector. The private sector is also not blameless. The private sector is where there's competition for contracts, and they're the ones who now go and bribe the executive, they also bribe the legislature, and so on. So there's always a giver and a taker in a corrupt deal. So the private sector is also not blameless. The media is also not blameless here. The media is very much deeply involved. If you see the media saying, oh, we are exposing corruption here, they have been paid. But we have done a professional investigation exposing corruption in the legislature or in judiciary, in the executive. They themselves have been paid to do what they're doing. So the media is not blameless in this one here. So we need to deal with this issue squarely by looking at this animal called corruption, the face, and dealing with it. That's the only way that our country will be able to move forward. I thank you very much for listening to me.